Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver Kelvin Austin has just revealed at this point in the offseason, he's still not 100% recovered from his foot injury that he suffered from last season where he missed his whole rookie year. So, just in case that some of you don't know, let me just detail what exactly his injury was that he was dealing with last season. Right before the first preseason game, he got injured with a foot injury. It was a Lisfranc injury, just like Travis Etienne had the year prior, and he missed the whole season. But he was hoping that after he was put on IR, right when he got injured, that he'd come back halfway through the season. If you remember, during that time, he was trying to come back, and then he had that open window that the Steelers had when he returned to practice, where either they activate him or he would be done for the season. But he wasn't really 100% recovered. Some of us thought it was because Matt Canada just didn't know how to use him. But during that window, after it closed, he actually got surgery. And that's why the picture in my thumbnail is that surgery picture that he released to the public on social media. So he had a Lisfranc injury, and now this offseason, you hear all the people, like his teammates, you hear the GM, like Omar Khan, saying that he's healthy now, and they expect a big season from him. But him personally, he doesn't feel 100% back to being himself, but he says he'll be back soon to being himself. Now, this is the part of the video where I give you quotes directly telling you what he has said about him being not 100% back to himself, but hopefully very soon. Here's the quotes. I've learned a lot about taking care of my body. Right now, it's more about conditioning, getting my hamstrings, my ankles, my calves used to the power and the cuts and long route running. It's just a continuous process of learning me and my body. I just learned a lot from my rookie season, from talking to some vets, talking to Wig. Until you go through it, you don't realize how much of a grind that is. And then he continued on saying this. Hopefully, he can look back at this moment and be like, I'm thankful to see someone I helped to get back to 100% out there doing his thing. Although I'm not 100% yet, I do feel as fast, but honestly, I think that by the time August comes, I'll feel my full speed. It's like I'm there, but I don't know. I've still got a little bit more in the tank. I'm in a position now where I feel well enough I can go out there and do the next 3 or 4 years, but I'm not 100% back to myself. You see him mentioning Wig. That guy that he's mentioning is his doctor or his physio guy, someone who is helping him get back to being himself. That's who he was talking about there. So at this point in the offseason, we're almost heading to training camp, meaning as of right now, we have around like 2 more months, a little bit over 2 months until the actual season starts and football starts getting back to normal. But before that is obviously the preseason, so it's really a shorter amount of time, a month and a couple of weeks before actual live football. And him saying he's not 100% back to himself is kind of worrying because he has had basically a whole year to recover. Yes, he says he'll be back to himself probably by August, but hopefully he is able to get back to himself because he could be really a difference maker for this team. And him saying that he could still get to those 3-4 years and to help the Steelers offense, we hear so much about how Kenny Pickett, how Najee Harris, how the wide receivers coach has said that they expect a big year for him and him to take a leap in his first season of live football for the Steelers, and he could be that difference maker. So him getting healthy is all that matters, and hopefully when he gets back on the field, because he is a little guy, because he's going to be taking some hits at the next level, he doesn't re-aggravate anything because he is a small guy, like I said. But hopefully he's able to get back to himself by the time football season comes back, and we get to see who Kelvin Austin really is for the Steelers team. We can all sit here and talk and say how much of a difference maker he's really going to be, but until we really see him on the field, we really don't know, and we're just guessing. We could go only off of his college tape, and that college tape was good, don't get me wrong, but who knows, at the next level, this is a really good next level at the NFL. Who knows what he'll bring, so hopefully he proves all the doubters wrong, but I've always believed in him, so hopefully he's able to succeed at the next level and do great things for this team. You know what? Now, instead of talking about his injury and how he's dealing with that and how he's coming back from that, let's get into some exciting part of this video, something he mentioned about the Ravens. If you remember, Last season, when the Steelers drafted him in the draft, it was kind of rumored that the Baltimore Ravens were going to select him with their next pick if the Steelers didn't pick him. But when he was drafted in the fourth round, that was a year where Ravens had so many fourth round picks and they just kept passing over on him for special teams, for a punter. So even though they were going to select him with his next pick, and when Steelers picked him, it was reported by NBC's Peter King that when Steelers picked him, someone in that draft room that they're doing like the draft in, they said, "Gotta be kidding me. Ray Steelers scooped up Austin." So Austin obviously saw those reports and he was talking about it a little bit. Let me give you a background. Steelers took tight end Isaiah Likely, and they also took a punter in that room before Austin in that fourth round, and they skipped over him. So Austin said this about playing the Ravens in those rivalry games next season within the AFC North Division. Here's the quote. "Man, I'd be lying if I said I haven't been thinking about that. It's wild. It's one of those things where obviously, I'm blessed. I'm just 100% glad that I came here. I'd be lying if I said that hasn't been on my mind since the draft, since that came out. It's a personal matter. But that will all be settled, Lord willingly. This year and the times we see them, I just have it circled. Crazy. A punter? Huh?" So you see him mention that punter there, that they drafted a punter instead of him. And that's actually kind of crazy when you think about it. Because if you remember last season, the Ravens wide receivers, who was their even wide receivers? You say there's Rashad Bateman, but who else do they even have on their team? They had no playmakers around Lamar Jackson. Obviously, this season it's different. They added Odell Beckham Jr., they added more guys to the wide receiver room. But last offseason, they really had no wide receivers on the team, and they just kept skipping over him. Yes, you don't know what he's going to provide at the next level. Yes, he's a smaller wide receiver, but he's really fast. His college shape was good. Sauce Gardner said that he was his toughest matchup in college. So he was a good wide receiver, and he was a good route runner, and that's something that Ravens were missing, but they just kept skipping over him, getting a tight end, getting a backup tight end, that is, not even a regular tight end, because Mark Andrews is going to play most of the time. So they got a backup tight end, they got punter, and they just kept skipping over him, and obviously now he's that chip on his shoulder, and he's looking forward to facing the Ravens, and ever since that story came out from Peter King from NBC, he obviously said he saw that, and he's been thinking about that, and the next time that the opportunity comes to play the Ravens within the AFC North Division. Obviously, for the players, the AFC North Division is one of the hardest games of the year, and it's one of the more biggest games of the year, and now it just adds an extra level of competitive nature to Kelvin Austin when he's going out there playing the Ravens to an already big game as it is. Having a chip on your shoulder and trying to prove to a team that you shouldn't have passed up on me. Even though you wanted me, you shouldn't have passed up on me that many times. You should have drafted me earlier before all those other guys, and I was worth an investment. And he's trying to prove to Steelers Nation that he was worth an investment of a fourth round pick. And just because he got injured, he's not injury prone. He's someone who could provide something on the field, provide a key asset to the team. So he has so much of a chip on his shoulder this season, and hopefully, like he said, God willingly, he's able to play and be back to himself fully by August and be back 100%, even though he's not exactly there right now. With all this being said, this is the end of the video. So let me know down in the comments below. How do you feel about Kelvin Austin heading into this season, and specifically his comment saying that he's not right back to being himself yet, but he should be there by the time August comes around. He should be 100% healthy by the time that year comes around. And let me know how you think the season's going to go for him. Do you think he's going to be a big asset for the Steelers? Do you think he's going to play minimal? Or do you believe that he's going to be a bust and not really produce at the next level because of his size and stuff like that? Let me know how you feel about Kelvin Austin and this whole situation down in the comments below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel down below as well if you like Steelers content and analysis and reports. Like the video, turn on post notifications down below for this channel as well so you get notified whenever I post next Steelers video. I cover everything Pittsburgh Steelers news, rumors, everything that comes out. Whoever talks about Steelers, I bring it to you guys first and give you the updates on everything. So this is the best place for Steelers news and everything like that to stay up to date and just know I covered everyone new the Steelers added this offseason. So if you want to go see the introductions and what they'll bring to the table this season, they're on the channel. Go ahead and watch it, and everything moving forward into the preseason, into the regular season, the playoffs when we make it, the Super Bowl when we make it, repeating the whole cycle again back to the draft. I'm covering all. And if you want to see a specific video on a player like this one that I did on Kelvin Austin, also let me know down in the comments below what that player is. So like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys all later. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.